Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Birdman, and today we're going to be birding Jackie Parker Park. And quite literally, almost immediately after starting birding, we got our first species, and a very cool one at that. This is, of course, the Double-Crested Cormorant. This bird is uniquely the sole cormorant species found both pelagically and inland, having breeding populations both out in the Maritimes, but also in the three prairie provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, and even some parts of the Great Lakes. Anyways, this bird is in fact named for the two protruding tufts of feathers present on the sides of the top of this bird's head during the breeding season. Regionally, birds in the east sport black ornaments, while western birds possess white ones. On top of this, double-crested cormorants have a bright orange gular sac, a long hooked bill, a long neck, and a sleek hydrodynamic body covered in black, non-waterproof feathers. They aren't waterproofed as to aid in diving deeper, as it's the reason why you'll sometimes observe cormorants with their wings outstretched while on a sunny perch. They quite literally have to dry out their feathers before they can fly again. With this in mind, it is pretty easy to piece together that this bird's favorite food is fish, a prey item it will dive depths of up to 10 meters to acquire. Upon snatching food up though, it will always surface to swallow it whole. Due to this lifestyle, you could probably take a good guess as to what this species' preferred habitat is too, and that is in a whole variety of aquatic environments, including, but not limited to, offshore islands, protected bays, harbors, estuaries, lagoons, slow rivers, reservoirs, lakes, and strangely enough, stands of mature deciduous trees. And finally, we've got this bird's nesting habits. As many other coastal non-passerines, cormorants are colonial nesters and will often form colonies near those of other species, including gulls, terns, herons, pelicans, or other cormorants. Couples will construct large stick nests on low-lying islands or even in suitable trees, and within will incubate 2 to 7 pale blue eggs for 25 to 28 days. Moving further down, we found our next couple species, including the classic ring-billed gull, as well as the red-necked grebe, a fantastic little water bird. On a nearby observation deck, we also got looks of an adult, their orangey necks still in full display. On said deck, we also had a really cool experience with American coots, as they came right up to the platform, giving amazing looks. This young one here was especially talkative, constantly calling out for mom.
It is so hard to decide when to stop recording these guys, because they walk right up to the... Wow, look at that.
And how could we forget about that elegant looking adult? Look at those colors, that shield. And those funny looking lobed feet. They are kind of a mix of webbed feet and normal feet. They help with walking on marsh vegetation. Extremely happy with this coot encounter though, we continued down the beach to see if we could find any more species. And the search paid off as we gathered 2 more species, including this American crow, as well as another incredibly common waterfowl species.
Got a couple species. We got the American coots and mallards, so let's take a closer look.
And close looks these mottled little guys sure gave us, as they lounged around, feeding off whatever they could find on the ground. I especially love the purple wing patches, which are actually known as speculum. These guys also eventually made their way out to the water, where they gave great views of their drinking habits, I guess. More importantly though, was the presence of a new species for the day, the Canada goose. Always good to get those guys. After a bit of walking, we eventually made it to the very end of the park, where we found the parents of that cormorant we saw earlier. We also saw a big flock of ring-billed gulls, cormorants, and grebes out in the middle of the pond. We even had a surprise mammal encounter with this white-tailed jackrabbit. It's always cool to get those other species in too, even if they're not birds. Anyways, we continued on our way back, happy with our finds, thinking that today was a wrap. Until we saw it, the surprise LIFER. These are my very first black-crowned night herons. This bird is actually the most widespread and common heron species in the entire world, being found on every continent except for Australia and Antarctica. They are quite distinctive up here in Canada though, with their hunchback posture, black crown, black back, white face and underparts, grey wings, and fleshy legs. The individuals present at the Jackie Parker, though, were all juveniles, and therefore brown and covered in spots. Their eye is also more of an orange compared to the adult's red. As you might have been able to guess, these birds primarily hunt at night, roosting during the day, hence the name night heron. So despite their widespread range, it can still render them a bit more elusive than that of their diurnal counterparts. If you want to find this bird, it quite obviously will inhabit aquatic locations, though more specifically islands, brackish or freshwater sloughs, wetlands, and especially areas with dense shrubbery or emergent vegetation. Within these ecosystems, the black-crowned night heron possesses the niche of stand-and-wait predator, eating any fish, amphibians, crustaceans, snakes, and small mammals that might come its way. As for nesting, this heron will do so colonially, near or even over water in a tree. Colonies have the ability to contain up to a whopping 10,000 pairs, but normally that number stays at around 50 nests. Said nest is usually constructed from vegetation and sticks, with material gathered by the male, and within, the pair will incubate 3 to 5 greenish eggs for 23 to 26 days. And finally, we have the call of this bird, which in American varieties is a deep, guttural squawk. Take a listen. Anyways, extremely happy with the surprise LIFER, we finished up and wrapped up our trip here, taking a look at some gulls who are extremely tolerant, like this guy loafing, or this guy preening. So cute. Anyways, Jackie Parker Recreation Area was a great place for birding, and we had a great time. The weather was nice, and we got some very cool species. I definitely recommend, if you're in the area, to check it out. Anyways, that's the end of this episode of The Birdman. If you haven't subscribed and liked, you better do that, and I'll see you next time on Hank the Birdman.